Now where is
The
Judge Judy?
show Judge revolutionized courtroom programs. Then, after 25 years of dominating courtroom programs, Judge Judy herself vanished. However, Judge Judy didn't retire. She rebooted and began something new entirely. Where she is now and what she has built will blow your mind. In February 1993, Judy Sheindlin, who would later become the famous judge of Judge Judy, noticed something. Little did she know that what she noticed would change her life in a way she could never have predicted. In 1965, Judy passed the New York State Bar examination. Immediately, she went into the corporate world and worked as a corporate lawyer for a cosmetics firm. However, there was a problem. After 2 years, she realized the job didn't give her the fulfillment she wanted. So, she quit and decided to give full attention to her children, Jamie and Adam. Then, in 1972, she decided it was time for her to work again. But she wanted something that would give her satisfaction and not frustrate her. She heard about a job as a prosecutor in the New York family court system from a friend and decided to apply. Judy was considered impressive and was hired. Judy soon became a legend, and her tough attitude made New York Mayor Ed Koch to appoint her as a criminal court judge in 1982. By 1986, she got promoted to supervising judge in the family court's Manhattan division. Her brand of justice was described as tough and sometimes harsh, but Judy would always disagree. However, it was that style that made her famous, and that fame made Heidi Getlin tell her husband Josh to write about her. Josh, who worked with the Los Angeles Times, wrote an article on Judy and described her as a woman determined to make the court system work for the common good. That article did Judy a whole lot of good because it helped her gain the attention of Kay Switzer and Sandy Spreckman, who worked for Rebel Entertainment, a talent management agency. They introduced Judy to CBS, and CBS featured her in a segment on CBS's 60 Minutes. The audience loved her on the segment, and Judy instantly became a nationwide sensation. Seeing how popular she had become, Judy decided to cash in on it. So, she wrote a book, Don't Pee on My Leg and Tell Me It's Raining, in 1996. Afterwards, Judy retired as a family court judge, with a record of having heard more than 20,000 cases. What people didn't know was, there was a reason Judy resigned. Her performance on CBS's 60 Minutes made the audience want more. Rebel Entertainment and their staff had worked out a show idea, like The People's Court, and pitched it to CBS. They loved the idea, and so Judy was approached to be the judge of the court show that would be named after her. She accepted, but she wasn't feeling the show. She didn't have chemistry with her bailiff. She wanted someone else, but who? Judy remembered someone, and she picked up her phone. In 1995, Hawkins Bird read a news article about Judy's book, and he loved it. So, he wrote a letter to her and told her that if she needed a bailiff, he was ready to put his uniform back on for her. When his phone rang, he knew what his answer was going to be before she even finished talking. Like that, Judge Judy was born, and it revolutionized court programs on TV. Judy's chemistry with Bird was immense. He was the stern bailiff who wasn't emotionally invested in the case. He provided order when litigants wanted to become combative, and was a steady presence that the audience fell in love with. Fans were always eager to hear him say, "Order, all rise," as each case was about to start. With that kind of chemistry, Judge Judy wasn't just the most popular court show, it was one of the most popular programs ever. It's a shame how things turned out between Bird and Judy, but we'll get to that later. Judge Judy regularly got 9 to 10 million viewers daily. It even beat the ratings of The Oprah Winfrey Show different times too. At some point, the show was the highest rated show in all of daytime television programming. How did it become the most popular show? We will get to that soon. The show's popularity continued to increase, and it got to a point that Americans trusted Judge Judy more than they did all the justices of the United States Supreme Court. However, the audience didn't just see Judy as a regular judge, they saw her as one of the greatest pop culture icons to have ever lived. Shows that wanted to gain audience attention always made reference to Judge Judy. Although despite this public love the show still wasn't winning any Daytime Emmy Award. But despite this, Judy herself was winning awards and getting honors from several places. Judy got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in February 2006 and got inducted into Broadcasting and Cable's Hall of Fame in October 2012. The awards kept pouring in, and in April 2013, she won an award from the Vice Presidency of the UCD Law Society, but Judy wasn't satisfied. She wanted her show to win something. She got worried, but had to convince herself that the shows that won the award got cancelled or ended. But despite not winning, Judge Judy still pulled a large audience and didn't have an end in sight. However, that same 2013, something big happened. After 15 nominations, Judge Judy finally won its first Emmy, and this opened the floodgates of awards for the show. It won the Emmys again in 2016 and 2017. Judy herself continued to win awards, and in 2014, she won Mary Pickford Award from the Hollywood Chamber Community Foundation at the 2014 Heroes of Hollywood. Although if you ask Judy, her biggest recognition could be the Guinness World Records she won on September 14, 2015, as the longest-serving judge or arbiter in courtroom-themed programming history, and as having the longest-running courtroom show. Apart from the awards she won, Judge Judy was earning a lot from the show. Her earnings were so high that it made headlines. In early 2005, her salary was around $25 million per year. Because of this, her net worth grew to $95 million, and she became the 13th woman on the Forbes list of the 20 richest women in entertainment. Although her wealth wasn't well received by everybody, some people felt it was unfair for her to earn that much, and judges who were handling the day-to-day court processes were earning significantly lower. This wasn't the only criticism Judge Judy got, but more of those to come later. Despite her wealth, Judy was exhausted, but she enjoyed what she was doing and the hold she had on the audience. So when the studio decided to increase her salary to $45 million per year, it made her enjoy what she was doing even more. But there was something about this increase, though. The audience still loved the show, and they liked that Judy gave them the kind of thing they would love to see in the real justice system. The audience wanted litigants to get justice fast, without the technicality, procedural delays, interference from lawyers, or lengthy appeals. Fans loved her intelligence and called her a human lie detector due to her experience from decades in family court. To them, Judy was a real hero of justice who destroyed evildoers with a finality to her words. However, not everyone felt this way. While many appreciate her early Judge Judy episodes for fairness and patience, some fans believed Judge Judy wasn't as good a judge as many credit her to be. They have even inquired if she could be disbarred. They accused her of interrupting litigants, prejudging cases, or showing bias against certain demographics. According to these critics, anytime Judy has to deal with people who are struggling on public assistance or earn low income, Judy gets nasty and dismissive. However, what many didn't know was Judge Judy had a problem. As the seasons went on, Judge got harsher, and lost that patience she had for litigants vanished. The show was profitable for those involved, and because of this, Judy didn't take breaks as much as she should have. There was even no way that she could have taken any break. The show paid litigants to come, and depending on various factors, like how much the litigants spend on the screen, they could get as much as $500, which was the highest fee, or as low as $100. Some litigants even got around $250. This fee comes after the show gave them Hollywood accommodations with all or nearly all their expenses paid for during filming. Even when Judge Judy awards fees the defendants don't have to pay, the show does that on their behalf. So, many litigants allegedly come on the show and fabricate disputes so they can get paid. It's why critics of Judge Judy have accused the show of bringing drama instead of authenticity. As litigants kept pouring in, Judy was unable to rest, and in 2010, she considered retirement. But she had a deal that was going to expire in 2014. She mentioned quitting after her contract expired, but long before that time came, something terrible happened. On March 30, 2011, Judy got on the set, and everything seemed normal, except that she was thoroughly exhausted. Judy just went about her day like it was normal, but it wasn't. As they continued to film, the bailiff called a case, and Judy was listening to the parties, but just the proceedings were going on, everything went black. Judy had fainted. Immediately, she was rushed to the hospital. The doctors ran tests on her and learned that she had suffered a mini stroke. Still, Judy didn't quit. Instead, she extended her contract and got a salary increase that same year and was declared to be the highest-paid TV star. Things were so great for her that in 2014, she even got a spin-off, which she titled Hot Bench. Little did she know that this spin-off would put her in a hot mess. Judy continued to deliver her brand of justice, and in 2017, she signed another contract extension till 2021. That contract extension brought her pre-tax earnings to $147 million, and it brought in other problems, which we'll tell you soon. With that salary boost, Judy forgot all about retiring and claimed the only way she was going to retire was when the audience stopped being interested in her show. She still felt energetic and loved her work, but she had an idea. However, she didn't announce it yet and began to work on how to bring her idea to life. While working on that idea, Judy continued to be Judge Judy, and in March 2020, she announced what many fans dreaded to hear. While she was on the Ellen DeGeneres show, she announced that the series would end on its 25th season anniversary. However, her last days on the show didn't have the kind of parting effect she would have wanted. In 2016, Rebel Entertainment Partners Incorporated and its president, Richard Lawrence, filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against CBS Television Distribution. He and his company accused CBS of trying to cheat them of the money they made from the show, especially when it was their former employees, Kay Switzer and Sandy Spreckman, that introduced Judy to CBS. Rebel claimed CBS paying Judy too much money was the reason CBS couldn't afford to pay them. They even claimed the show wasn't as profitable as CBS was trying to make it seem. Judy was caught in this whirlwind of legal proceedings, and the woman who gave other people justice was accused of taking it unfairly from those who helped her. Judy and CBS were accused of not informing Rebel of other spin-offs because they didn't want to share the profits with Rebel. After years both as a tough lawyer and a tougher justice, Judy wasn't ready to be walked over. She defended herself from the allegations. She accused Richard of being too greedy and not content with getting over $17 million from her show. She even accused him of being a selfish person who, after they met before the show began, never contacted her or approached her for anything. She defended the amount CBS paid her and said it was because of the value she brought to them. Was she truly bringing that much value to CBS? The court agreed with her, and in 2018, it declared that Judy was not overpaid and that she was a valuable asset to CBS. However, Judy didn't go completely scot-free. The court said she and CBS should have informed Rebel about any spin-off. If you thought the drama was over, think again, because just like the Judge Judy show, there were much more twists to come. Rebel Entertainment and Richard weren't satisfied by the court's judgment. They went to appeal, but CBS was tired of the legal drama. They had been airing legal dramas about other people for years, but wished to be done with theirs quickly. So in 2020, they approached Rebel Entertainment and gave them a deal. Rebel believed they had CBS where they wanted them and pushed for another lawsuit. This time, they joined Judy as defendant, but she had had enough. She wasn't going to cut any deal with Rebel and also countersued them for $22 million and accused them of unfair business practices. The battle was on, but Judy ran into a situation. The court asked her to also countersue CBS if she wanted to have a case. Judy was at a crossroads. She could either push for the money she wanted or be loyal to CBS. She chose loyalty and lost her case. She didn't care. The California Court of Appeal agreed with the lower court that CBS didn't breach any contract with Rebel. The court declared that CBS was paying Rebel the amount agreed in their contract in the way stipulated in the contract. However, it turned out that Judy herself was pushing for an increase in her contract every 3 years. So, she wanted more work despite feeling overwhelmed at some point. Now, she could enjoy her victory, but it didn't last. There was another lawsuit she had to battle with, and this time, old friends turned to enemies. Kay Switzer and Sandy Spreckman's trustee, Jay Robinson, sued Judy, CBS Corporation, CBS Studios, and Big Ticket Television. They claimed that as former employees of Rebel Entertainment were owed royalties for discovering Judy. They said without that discovery and subsequent introduction to CBS, there wouldn't be any Judge Judy. It wouldn't be the first time the two would file matters like this, and Judy wasn't bothered. She described the case as background noise, and it was. The court didn't find any merit in it and threw it out in 2021. Those were not the only lawsuits that Judy was involved in. In March 2013, Patrice Jones, the wife of Randy Douthat, the executive producer of Judge Judy, sued Judy. She accused Judy of buying valuable cutlery and fine china she owned by conspiring with her husband. It was becoming a messy affair, and Judy returned the cutlery to Randy Douthat, who subsequently gave them back to his wife. Judy was still involved in a couple of more lawsuits, and another that stands out is the one in March 2014. So, a lawyer named John Haymond used Judge Judy's image in a couple of ads. A producer of the show noticed and immediately contacted the lawyer that using Judy's image wasn't permitted, but the lawyer didn't listen and continued to release more ads. Judy didn't like this, so she sued. She accused Haymond and his law firm of using her image in television ads without her permission and giving the false impression that Judge Judy had personally endorsed Haymond's legal practice. Haymond, however, wasn't backing down. He also countersued and claimed Judy had defamed him and his firm. According to him, local TV stations had asked him to participate in promos to help promote Judge Judy's show, and he simply went along. But no one was buying that, and seeing that he was going to lose, Haymond approached Judy for a deal. He donated to her charity, and Judy withdrew the suit. Seems like Haymond forgot how tough Judy could be. It's her toughness that led her to where she is now. After Judge Judy stopped airing, Judy wasn't about to go into retirement. What would she do with all that time? She had grandchildren who were older now, and instead of retiring to spend time with them, she created something with them. Before Judge Judy ended, Judy had a plan. She wanted to create a new courtroom show, a spin-off from Judge Judy that would cross generations and be relatable to the newer generations. She created Judy Justice. To do that, she needed the help of someone younger and decided to work with her granddaughter. However, in trying to appeal to a newer audience, she decided not to do the new show with Bailiff Bird. She told Bird that she couldn't afford to pay his salary. This surprised Bird, who thought that being a long-time presence, Judy should have asked him first before making the decision for him. Bird was hurt, but accepted that it was time to move on, except that fans said no. It wouldn't be the first time Judy would do something like this to Bird. She never once treated him like a friend and kept him at arm's length when the show wasn't airing. Bird didn't mind this, but during the first Emmy Award the show won, he felt sad. He and Judy didn't even sit in the same row.